Hey everybody, welcome back to Kavanaugh's Corner. As always, I'm Andrew Kavanaugh. I want to say thank you so much for coming back to the channel today. This review today is a big one. This is one of 3 films that were released recently by Disney or Buena Vista 20th Century Studios or whatever they're calling it these days. But this is one that I've been waiting for a long time, and without further ado, we have True Lies on 4K, and this was a big one for me. This and The Abyss coming out in 4K were huge releases for me. They just came out this past week. I'm recording this on the 14th, so March 14th. I just got this in the day before I'm filming this, and I was very excited to get them in. Originally, Amazon said that they weren't going to get these to me until like the 20th or so, and then boom, they just appeared, and I couldn't be happier about that. I got this and The Abyss. Aliens is still going to be delayed, sadly, but this came in first, and then The Abyss came in a few hours later. And so this was the first one that I popped in, and I haven't had a chance to watch The Abyss yet. That will be a separate video. Actually, all of them will have their own videos, because I like to make sure I give a detailed and honest review of each of the films. But today we're going to be talking about the picture quality, the special features, the audio, everything on this new 4K, and really talk about some of the controversial stuff that's been going on with it, and share my opinion with you of what I thought of this new complete restoration of True Lies. So True Lies came out back in '94, and I remember it well, even though I was way too young to see this movie. I didn't see it for probably about 8 or 9 years after it came out, but I definitely remember this film. And you know, this movie is one of the best action comedies of all time. And so I remember owning it on VHS. I have the DVD still, and that DVD is not even anamorphic. And now we have the 4K here. And this new 4K has Dolby Vision, Dolby Atmos, and really the first thing we're going to jump right into here is the picture quality on this. The picture quality on this disc has been discussed quite a lot, even just within the last couple days of me filming this, because it seems like they have used, or Jim Cameron, you know, even though he oversaw this transfer, they have used AI to do the restoration and the picture corrections that that James Cameron wanted for this. And you know, as much as I say, you know, I don't know if that's a good idea or not, AI is really a part of our society now, and it's kind of funny coming from the guy who made The Terminator. But anyway, the fact that this was, you know, done in an artificial way kind of irks people. And I get it. I totally get it. You know, I'd rather have a team of people going through and restoring it frame by frame. But again, you know, James Cameron wanted this a very particular way. And after watching it last night, I will say that this movie, to me, the restoration on this is a huge mixed bag for me. Did I not enjoy it? No, I actually enjoyed the look of this movie. Is it perfect? No, it is not perfect by any means. The movie definitely has a video type look to it. And what I mean by that is that the film grain in this movie has been diminished to an extreme degree. It's still kind of there, but for the most part, it's basically gone. It's very, very minor, and the digital noise reduction used at times in this is somewhere between egregious and just right. And it's a weird mix, because that AI that they used has done two things. It has mitigated the grain in an extreme way. It has dulled out some facial details and some actual picture details. The overall video picture detail is sometimes very muted and smoothed, kind of like just smooth it out. And then there are some other times where the detail level is absolutely sharpened through the roof to a point where it almost doesn't look real. And it almost looks like it was shot like 3 days ago with an extremely high-end digital video camera. Like a Red or something like that you would buy today. Although it was not. This movie was shot on film back in the 90s. And it was really jarring to me. Like right from the get-go, the 20th Century Fox logo, that the early 90s CGI logo that they used at the time, looks like brand new, and it's almost like too clear. And I was not used to that. Kind of was like, oh, that's wild looking. But then, when the movie gets going, I notice that colors have been greatly enhanced, and it is vivid, sometimes saturated. It is very beautiful to look at, but detail level is this wild mishmash of, oh my god, I can't believe how good this looks, where you can see like stubble on Arnold's face and tears in his clothing as he's getting beat up and getting in all these crazy action scenes, and Jamie Lee Curtis looks amazing. And then there's some other scenes where faces have been smoothed, that just like, they look like action figures at other times. It kind of reminded me of some of the really bad DNR that was in Terminator 2. And I would say that True Lies is not nearly as bad as the DNR usage in Terminator 2. I don't think it's really close to that at all. There was only one shot in the movie that I thought was almost screwed up, and that was right at the beginning of the film, when Arnold is kind of like climbing up the side of like that mansion that he's kind of sneaking into, and it just looks so bad. It almost looks like they overdid it, and the shot is like blurry, and it looks wrong. Like it looks like a mistake. And the rest of the film, again, it differs wildly between that very smooth, artificial look and then extremely vivid and extremely detailed. It just wildly swings all over the place. Did I think it was really, really bad usage of DNR? On and off, yes, I think it was. But it was on and off. And it was like a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit here, a little bit there. For the most part, the movie just looks extremely different. And some of you are not going to like that. Some of you probably won't mind. To me, it's weird. I'm somewhere in the middle. I thought the movie looked really good, but it didn't look like True Lies looked when I first saw it. And again, the detail level is most of the time amazing. And then there's some other times where I was like, ooh, that's just okay. It looks really very manufactured. And again, that kind of has to do with the way that the film was restored. So again, that was the look that James Cameron was going for. Is it like unwatchably bad? No. I thought it still looked very, very pleasing to the eyes. The movie is still the movie that it is. It's a great movie. But that picture, again, the visuals were just, it is so wildly different than any other version I've seen of this film. And it wasn't always a good change. So I'm kind of in the middle here, where I liked a lot of it. I didn't like some of it. But to me, it is far and away, much better looking than the Terminator 2 4K, and I appreciate at least that we have this on 4K now. In terms of audio quality, that's a very different ballgame. This has an all-new Dolby Atmos track, and that Dolby Atmos track is kick-ass. I loved it. The surrounds are used all throughout. There are so many wild action sequences in this movie, and that new Dolby Atmos track is amazing. It is just, everything is centered so well. The dialogue is crystal clear. The sound effects are perfect. I mean, they sound absolutely fantastic. The music, Brad Fiddel's score in this sounds incredible. It's a very synthesizer-heavy score, as most of his scores are, but that sounded amazing. The real standouts were the end of the film, the sequence with Arnold in the helicopter trying to grab onto Jamie Lee Curtis as she's on that runaway limo. That is a real showstopper. The overheads are used for the helicopter rotors as they're spinning. That was incredible. And then the follow-up action sequence where he's in the Harrier jet, when Harry in the Harrier, as I like to call it, but when Arnold gets in the Harrier jet to go after the bad guys, that scene sounds amazing. I mean, it is booming. It was just a very impressive audio track, so the audio track is a big home run. The other thing I want to talk about is the special features are all on the second disc. So I'm going to open this up so you can see this. So there's the 4K and then the Blu-ray. I love the illustration they have there. I thought that was great. But all the special features are on the secondary Blu-ray, and there's a special feature on there called Fear Is Not an Option, a look back at True Lies. And that is like a 45-minute little, I call it like an extended featurette, but they talk about the making of the movie. There's new interviews with James Cameron, with Arnold. There's some archival interviews with Jamie Lee Curtis and even Bill Paxton, who I miss so greatly. He was so funny in this movie. He plays such a good part in this. And they actually dedicated the special feature to Bill. So that was really, really nice that they did that. Overall, I'm just happy to have this on 4K. Is it perfect? No. The picture quality, again, if you don't really care about the look of the film being original, you're not going to care. This movie looked eye-poppingly beautiful. But again, the detail level varies at times, and the soundtrack on it was killer. So again, it's really not the True Lies you remember, but is it unwatchably bad? No. It's a decent transfer. It's just very, very altered from what you probably remember. Do I recommend it? Yeah. I mean, I'll recommend it just because of the movie alone. You know, is it DNR to hell at times? Yes, it is. Other upgrades that the movie has taken kind of make up for it. So if you want to pick up True Lies in 4K, when it becomes available again, we'll see when that happens. There'll be a link in the description below to Amazon. If you use that link, it helps me out here at the channel because I had to buy this with my own money. Disney doesn't send me anything. And hopefully when Sony kind of takes over their distribution, I'll start to get more movies that are Disney movies. So big thanks to everybody out there who has subscribed recently. If you want to see more reviews like this, definitely make sure to subscribe down below and hit that thumbs up button if you enjoyed this. I'm very excited to bring you my review of The Abyss. That will be coming in the next few days. I am very excited about that. That is the one that I am most looking forward to out of the 3 films. So please stay tuned for that. And until next time, please stay safe and take it easy.